Alrighty guys, and welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 4, which was directed by Deborah Chow and written by Joby Harold and Hannah Friedman, and was released on June 8th, 2022. So yeah, I'm very late on getting this review out. It came out like a week ago now, but the episode, I thought it was a kind of weak episode. If you had watched my reviews for Part 1 through 3, I really loved those episodes, but this one I just felt was like a big dip, for me. Some of my problems are that I just felt like it's kind of rehashing stuff from previous Star Wars stories, mainly the Death Star rescue from A New Hope, but with elements from the ending of Jedi Fallen Order. Obviously used the same setting as Fallen Order, and they're rescuing the same person as, from A New Hope in the Death Star rescue, so it just kind of felt like combining those two together, not doing anything like crazily interesting or different with it. Combining those two things together, I still enjoyed the episode, but it just felt like kind of, same feeling, didn't do anything new with those elements. So, I kind of wish they, did something different there, even with, similar settings and, just similar stuff. I just, felt like they just did the same thing. So yeah, but the stuff that did happen on the Fortress Inquisitors, I didn't hate it. It's just that it felt the same. Like some stuff I liked. I liked seeing Obi-Wan kind of get his mojo back, get back in the groove of things with his lightsaber and the Force and whatnot. We see him dressed more like he would be dressed in the prequel trilogy. So I enjoyed seeing that more, seeing him do twirls of his lightsaber and, do big stuff with the Force, which he's kind of gone throughout the series so far, but this episode definitely felt the most like that. I enjoyed the stuff with Leia, and, when Reva is interrogating her, and when, Obi-Wan finally saves her, I enjoyed that moment, because, up until that point, I thought Obi-Wan was his dad and whatnot, so I enjoyed that. There's also a moment right before Obi-Wan finds Leia. He comes across this room, what's full of dead Jedi, frozen in this yellow, amber, I don't know, stuff, I don't know what to call it, but we see several Jedi. There's only one what looks like a previously seen character, and that was the Jedi Terra Sinube, who mainly appeared in the Clone Wars animated series, most prominently the episode Lightsaber Lost, where him and Ahsoka team up after Ahsoka loses her lightsaber. That was a good episode of the Clone Wars. I quite like that one. But anyways, there's several Jedi. The last one everyone sees is Jedi youngling. But the scene was really creepy. Though one thing I do wish is we saw Obi-Wan see a Jedi he might have known better. But obviously for it to be one of it had to be one we see Obi-Wan interact with in the prequel trilogy, and so the only one I could maybe say is maybe Mace Windu, but it obviously makes sense why they wouldn't do that, because obviously they could have done Quinlan Vos because they already mentioned him in Part 3, but still kind of weird. And also any Jedi from the Clone Wars and whatnot, and it'd been kind of weird seeing Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan be upset by it when we never saw Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan interact with that character, when it would have been just, the animated versions. So, yeah. But, everything after, Obi-Wan rescues Leia. I guess there's one moment we see the other character, Talia, also breaks into the Fortress Inquisitors with Obi-Wan. She's dressed in the Imperial officer outfit. I enjoyed all the moments with her. I like the tense feeling of her breaking into the base to help Obi-Wan get in, and she when Obi-Wan hears Leia screaming because Reva is doing stuff to her, and he tells Talia to kind of just get a distraction going, which I enjoyed all that too. But once Obi-Wan rescues Leia, all that was just there's a lot of action going on and whatnot. And there's a moment where they're in a little hallway, what's surrounded by glass, and the glass breaks and water starts coming. Everyone has to use the force and whatnot. Like, all that was just, it's cool, but like once again, that was something we saw something similar to that in Jedi Fallen Order, so it kind of felt like just rehashing that. But then they get to the hangar, and then Reva appears and whatnot, and it's just like, I just felt all that was just kind of But the rescue comes, which I'll get into this more in a moment, but there's two T-47 land speeders come in and rescue them. The one gets blown up, and they kind of make a big deal of the character dying, which all this was, we get introduced to these characters earlier in the episode when Talia takes Obi-Wan to Jabim. We get introduced to these characters, this group called The Path, I believe. Or at least that's what Reva was calling them. We get introduced to O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character named Rokim. And we get introduced to these two other characters, and the one is the one who dies, and he has legitimately under a minute of screen time. Like I kind of wish they spent more time there with these characters, introducing them more, introducing what this, the path is. So later, when that one character does die, it kind of has a bigger impact than what it is going for. So like that moment where the character does die just fell off because of that. And there was more than enough time to explore that, because this episode was only 37 minutes, and that's including the recap and credits, so it's probably only like 32, maybe even 30. So I kind of wish they spent more time on that. We do get a little more with the character Rokin, but he doesn't really appear too much. He kind of talks to Obi-Wan, but it's all kind of like surface level, really not super deep. So yeah. There was one moment on Jabim I liked. Obi-Wan, it's at the start of the episode, Obi-Wan gets taken to the back of the tank, and it cuts to like Vader also in the back of the tank, and kind of see them kind of maybe seemingly fighting each other through the Force. That was a cool moment, but we see Vader once again at the end of the episode when he's like mad at Reva for letting them get away, but Reva reveals that she placed a tracker inside Leia's droid Lola, so Vader lets her get away with this one, and the episode ends with Leia and Obi-Wan, on the ship heading back to Jabim, I would assume, and we see, Lola get a red eye, meaning she's evil now. So yeah, but like I said, I just thought this episode was quite a dip from the first three. I still enjoyed stuff from the episode, but my biggest problems were that it rehashed stuff from previous Star Wars stories, and just didn't really do anything super cool with it. It just was pretty much just combine those two elements, those two stories together. Therefore it wasn't like terrible, but like it just kind of wasn't anything new or interesting. Also the second half of the episode, once Leia gets rescued, kind of had to rely on action a lot, which I've said already that the action's kind of been just so far in the series. I'm not a big action person, so like I don't really care too much about action, but it just was very action heavy. When the first three episodes I felt were a little more character driven, definitely with McGregor's Obi-Wan, so and they kind of went away from that in this episode. So hopefully next two, or definitely the next one, they at least go back to, because I'm assuming the finale will be the big rematch between Obi-Wan and Vader. But yeah, I just felt like the action just wasn't good enough to carry that second half, because if the action was actually really cool and whatnot, it could definitely improve the episode a lot. But also another big problem I had was the stuff with the path, just not exploring that very much. Obviously the upcoming episode, they might, but still I just felt like it made more sense in this episode because they killed the one character off, and like they made a big deal about it, and just as the viewer, you just don't care because the character had less than a minute of screen time. So yeah, but all in all, I just thought the episode was just a weaker episode. It kind of everything wasn't that great about the first three episodes is pretty much what this episode is. So it didn't really have any redeeming factors too much in it, but it still wasn't like an awful episode. It was still fine in that aspect, but as someone who really enjoyed those first 3 episodes, I just felt this one was a pretty weak one compared to those 3. So yeah, but this episode wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen in Star Wars or anything. So yeah, but my grade for this one, I'm gonna give it a C+. So yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. I should have a review of part 5 out soon. Honestly, this is probably going out the same day as part 5 comes out, so probably later today also. But yeah. Anyways, I've been Star Z, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
They're coming. Stay hidden, or we will not survive. Leave us alone. When the time comes, he must be trained.